Hi there, this is Tony from Pianotone.ca, and this video is all about how to use the WU-BT10 Bluetooth transmitter from Casio with your Casiotone CT-S1 keyboard to stream audio wirelessly from a device to play along with. I'll also be showing you a way to fix an issue I noticed with audio that you are streaming into the CT-S1. I'm always playing along with backing tracks that I stream in from my iPad, and I found that the keyboard is usually too loud relative to most of those backing tracks. If I turn the volume on my iPad up too high to try and match the volume of the keyboard, then the track starts to distort, and that happens with the speakers or with the headphones. So I'll show you how you can adjust the relative volume between your device and the keyboard in case one is too loud for the other. And I'll also show you how to set up a wireless MIDI connection, so if you want to use MIDI compatible apps on your device without a cable. Let's check it out. Okay, so step one is to get the transmitter plugged into your keyboard and turn your keyboard on. I've done that. Now the audio and MIDI Bluetooth connections are actually two separate Bluetooth connections. So we're going to set up an audio connection first. So once the keyboard is on, go to the Bluetooth settings on your device. Now if you haven't set up the adapter before, it's not going to be listed. So you need to tell the keyboard to start trying to connect to your device. So to do that, hold down function and then long press the A flat 5 key, which is the second A flat from the right, so this guy right here, and long press it, so you want to hold it down for a bit. Now you can start hearing kind of a noise, and then you're going to see that the audio Bluetooth transmitter appears in your settings on your device. So I click that to connect, and then we're good to go with the audio connection. Now once you've done that, your device should remember this automatically and connect every time both of these are on and within range of each other. Okay, so now if I go to one of my favorite apps on my iPad, SongBook Pro, I've actually got a review on that app that I'll link to below in the description. Then I'm going to start to play a backing track through the keyboard speakers or headphones. Now I can play along. So that sounds not bad, except the keyboard is kind of loud compared to the backing track. So if I try to turn the backing track up, it's fine, except it starts to kind of distort. That's no good. And if I turn the keyboard volume down, because I'm streaming the audio in, the volume of the backing track is going to go down as well, so that's not going to help. But there is a fix for this, and heads up, it's on page 33 of your manual. It's mostly intended for balancing the volume between layered voices, but it can also help with balancing volume with the audio in. The CT-S1 has a separate volume level for each of your voices, the main and the layered voice if you're using one. And that has a range for each of them of 0 to 127. The default for the main voice is 127, so max, and the default for the layered voice isn't in the manual. I think it's probably around 80 or 100 or so. So to change that, what we're going to do is you hold down function and don't let go. Then for the main voice, you're going to press the A3 key. You could repeat all of what I'm about to tell you with the B3 key to do the layered voice, but we're going to do the main voice. I'm still going to keep on holding down the function button. So now I'm editing the volume of the main voice. So it's defaulting to 127. Now I can edit the volume level by increments if I want. So the D sharp key will go up 1. It's already max anyway, so I can't go up anywhere. And the C sharp will go down 1. But I'm going to just guess at around 100 instead of 127, and we're going to try that out. So each one of these keys, you'll also see in your manual, have numbers assigned to them for this kind of function setting. So the C is 0 and the D is 1 and E is 2, etc. I'm going to set it to 100 by hitting the D key and then the C key twice. And you can hear a bit of a notification tone there. So now let's try that, see if the volume levels are a little more in line with each other. Okay, so they're a lot more in line, and I could continue to edit that if I wanted to kind of fine tune it a little bit more. Now, because the CT-S1 doesn't have a display or anything, and if you've forgotten what you've set the voice volume to, and you want to just go back to the default, that's easy to do. Hold down the function button again, and then hit A3 to edit the volume of the main voice. Then you can just hit C# and D# simultaneously, and that'll set it back to the default value, so now it's back at 127. Okay, so now on to the MIDI connections. For MIDI, you actually set that up not from your device's settings, but instead you do it from within whatever app you have installed that you want to use MIDI with. So I'll demonstrate this with the Cordana Play app from Casio. Now if you click on Lesson Mode, and then up in the top right hand corner, click on this little wheel here, and then click on Bluetooth MIDI device. Then you'll see it listed, and I can choose WU-BT10 MIDI. Okay, so now I'm connected. Now when I go back to the keyboard, you can see that it's picking up my notes that I'm playing. Now if I go back to the settings screen, you're going to notice that this is a separate Bluetooth connection, but you'll also notice that it disconnects the audio connection whenever I make the MIDI connection from within Cordana Play. Now to use MIDI in Cordana Play, you don't need the audio connection, so it's not really a big deal, but you might get confused about why your audio connection got turned off if you go to use it with YouTube or SongBook Pro or something else, so just be aware of that. Now also, FYI, when you come back again later after having turned off your device and your piano and you're playing again the next day, you're going to have to re-establish the MIDI connection, and you do it once again from within the app, so from within Cordana Play, not from your settings. So I've had some people ask about how the Bluetooth adapter works with another app called Flowkey, which is a cool app for learning piano. I actually did a few different review videos on Flowkey. I'll link to the main video below, so you can check that out if you want to look at the review on Flowkey. Now I'm going to go back to Cordana Play, and I'm going to disconnect from MIDI. And then I'm going to close that app right up. And then I'm going to go back into settings, and I'm going to turn the audio connection back on, so we're back to where we started. Okay, so I'm going to run Flowkey, and I'm just going to load up a random lesson. So I'll go into courses, and let's choose scales and C major. So as I start this lesson, it'll start with the instructor demonstrating the C major scale. And I can hear audio from that, so that's all working great. If you didn't hear anything here, that would be because your Bluetooth audio connection got disconnected somehow, possibly from Cordana Play MIDI. So you just have to go back into your settings on your device and reestablish the audio connection. Now as it gets to the spot where I have to play, I can hear my piano, but I can't, Flowkey isn't picking up any of my notes. That's because we haven't established the Bluetooth connection yet. So to do that, click up on the settings, gear up here, and then MIDI Bluetooth setup. Then down at the bottom, configure Bluetooth MIDI, and your device will be displayed, so you can go ahead and connect it. And good thing here is with Flowkey, it doesn't boot you out of your audio connection the way that Cordana Play does. So your audio connection should still be fine. So I'll go back into here, and I'll try this again. Wrong octave. So you can see now it's picking up my notes. And I'm just hearing my piano as well, just through the headphones. So now one other thing to note, if you are using a MIDI keyboard that doesn't have any built-in sounds, then good news, Flowkey has actually finally added MIDI sounds to their app. They didn't used to have them. I actually had done a video in the past on how to get MIDI sounds working while using Flowkey using some other apps at the same time, but you don't need to do that anymore because it's got MIDI sounds built in now. So in this case, you would have your headphones or speakers connected directly to your device, not to your keyboard. And then in order to hear sounds, you would need to use the MIDI sounds that are built into Flowkey. So I'm going to go back into Settings, and I'm going to click on Enable MIDI Sounds. Now I'm going to get a warning here because I have Bluetooth audio on, so it's warning me that there's going to be latency, which you can actually see as I play a C note. You can hear there's like an echo there. So the first note is coming from my keyboard, and the second one is coming back from the sound that was being generated by Flowkey. Now this is fine because if you were using a MIDI keyboard and wanted to just use the sounds from Flowkey, then you would turn Bluetooth audio off and you would have your headphones connected to your device and it will all work fine. So on the topic of latency, if you want to record MIDI with Bluetooth using a DAW like GarageBand, make sure you have your Bluetooth audio turned off and that you've got your headphones or speakers connected directly to your device with the MIDI app on it, not to your keyboard. Because otherwise, if you try to use Bluetooth audio through your keyboard instead, it's going to be impossible to play in time along with your recording because of that latency issue. But if you've got your headphones or speakers connected directly to your device that has the app on it, and you're listening to that app's MIDI sounds directly, then it should be fine. So that's it for this video. Hope that was useful. I've left some affiliate links below for the WU-BT10 Bluetooth adapter if you want to grab one for your CT-S1. It also actually works on the recently released CT-S400. And I also have links to my reviews on SongBook Pro and on Flowkey if you want to check either or both of those out. So thanks for checking out this video and happy piano playing. Have a great day.